can you sort of speak to a little, just how important the mission is? That unless we get the mission or asking God, what is our mission? We're just going to be like blowing steam or just wasting our life doing our own thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you say, I think increasingly so, we find it really, this is a great time, I think, given all that's happening in kind of Western culture in the church, in the US and Canada, to kind of go back to basics and to just get clarity on the missions. And we would say particularly clarity on three missions. Clarity on the mission of Jesus, clarity on the mission of the disciple, and then clarity on the mission of the parish, which the latter two we would argue are more and more urgent given all that's happening. So, and the way we talk about it often, coming out of Christmas, so you look at Jesus in a manger and you ask, well, what's he doing there? I think the way we've become accustomed to talking about it is God became a man in order to what? And my experience, not just like in the church, but even amongst priests, is there's not a clear answer to that question. And that's not to say that there's one answer, but I do think there is a variation around a single theme, right? So, and if we get Jesus's mission wrong, then we're not going to get the mission of the disciple right, and we're not going to get the mission of the parish right. So we would argue from scripture and the church's teaching, God becomes a man in order to bind the strong man, to rout the powers of sin and death, to reconcile us to the Father, to make atonement for our sin, and to recreate the world which God has made. So maybe the more provocative way to say that is God became a man to go to war. He became a man to fight, to free us from powers that we can't compete against on our own, sin and death most especially. And he's won. Like, that's really important to know. Like, he's won. Jesus is Lord is not just the ending of a prayer. It's a reality. Regardless of how it looks right now, Jesus is Lord. And, as one of the lines in the Liturgy of the Hours that we prayed the other day said, all the kings of the earth are going to bow down before him. And these eyes and those eyes are going to see it. And that's really important to know because it gives confidence, right? God is not weak. Love is not weak. The good is not weak. Evil is weak. So as we share the gospel, we just need to know that. So that's the mission of Jesus. From that flows our mission, right, as a disciple. And the way we see it, so we use 5 words to describe the mission of the disciple. Like, Jesus sends us in order to what? And so 3 of the words are Peace Corps words and 2 of the words are Marine Corps words. Mm-hmm. So the Peace Corps words are, he sends us to be agents of transformation or recreation or healing, much like we were talking about with my dad earlier, or your parents, Father Hamilton. The Marine Corps words are to be agents of sabotage and leaders of the resistance, which will probably get me banned from Twitter, but I don't tweet anyway. But to be clear, just so that everybody knows what we're talking about, so they don't think this is dangerous, that's actually C.S. Lewis's language. The weapons, right, that we use are love and truth and goodness and beauty and dignity and reconciliation and character and integrity and forgiveness and all those things. Mm-hmm. So that's the mission of the disciple. What's the mission of the parish? The mission of the parish is to be, this is N.T. Wright's language again, a microcosmos of the world to come. In other words, our parishes are supposed to be places where people walk in and they go, oh, they get it. Like, here's real unity and diversity. Here's people who have nothing in common other than they've encountered Jesus. They know they owe their lives to him and they want to live in response to him. And in a world right now which is crying for unity, and so many other things, there is no other source of unity than God. And I think to know church history is to know that nobody like the church knows knows what God is able to do. God and God alone is able to take people who used to hate each other and not make it so they simply tolerate each other, but they love each other, they recognize each other as brother and sister, and they lay down their lives for each other. And the world right now desperately needs the church's witness on those things. And if our parishes were like that, people would be flocking to them. I'm gonna take these out only because they're dying, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna lose you.
I feel like I go back to the funeral for your father, and almost like that event at the parish must have, for many people seeing that, they must have thought that this is like the new creation, the sign, just his life, the life that he lived, and the words from your mother. That must have just been a profound event in the lives of obviously yourself and shaping your priesthood, but in the lives of so many other people. And so they really got it in a way. And the family being like, the little parish, obviously at home. So you see that lived
Well,
up.
the expression, right, is this is better caught than taught.
Mm-hmm.
That's true about discipleship, right? It's better caught. I want to see it, and oh, that's what you're talking about, versus I hear it, but I don't see it. We have to both speak it, and then we have to model it to people so that they can see it and realize, oh, you've shown me how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can do that, and I see the payoff in it.
Mm-hmm. What's your advice for us, Father Riccardo, just at the parish level? Does anything come to mind about living this out?
Well, I think we're all in challenging times right now because of COVID, right? And so I think one of the things is just to communicate it over and over and over again to people so that they have clarity and alignment with you as the leaders of the parish as to what is the mission of Jesus, what is the mission of the disciple, what is the mission of the parish. Because I think oftentimes, at least here in the States usually, I think it was Rick Warren, the pastor of Saddleback, the purpose-driven life and purpose-driven church. They did a survey of 1,000 churches, and something like 90% of the people in the pews when they were surveyed said the mission of the church is to serve my needs. Mm-hmm. And by all means, like, the needs of the people in the pews are really important. I don't want to minimize that, but that's actually not the mission of the church. Mm-hmm. The mission of the church is so that the people in the pews will get out into the world and lead the people in the world back into the church where they can encounter Jesus and the Eucharist and the scriptures and in the community, which embodies the longing for unity that we all have, and the longing for charity and the longing for forgiveness that the human heart longs for. And so oftentimes I think people just don't know. They don't know what their mission is. I don't know what I'm being sent to do. Mm-hmm. So the more we can, the beauty of these days is they may not be in our buildings necessarily, but I'll bet the two of you are reaching more people than you ever did before because of technology.
Yeah.
That's kind of ironic. More people are listening now, even though they're not in the pews, and they're listening intentionally. Whereas in the past, maybe they weren't so intentional about listening to us, but now you have to tune in to want to hear. So we just need to, I think we need to exploit that, take advantage of it and say, okay, Lord, how can we exploit technology for the spread of the gospel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we've heard those words so often that Jesus said, but we're not really putting them into practice in their proper, with the way he meant them, like the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. It all sounds very nice, but what you're saying is basically the way we've allowed parish life to go on or continue or develop or run is the exact opposite. It's actually to be served and not to serve. And serve is not even serve the people within the parish community, which of course should happen, but only so that, I love one of your podcasts, I think you said when you were a parish priest, you had signs outside of your, I think I'm going to do this. When COVID is over, there are signs every time you leave the parking lot, you are going into mission territory.
Right.
Yes.
Ita misa est. You are going into mission territory, like because they don't have that conviction, that they haven't been really taught that, and that's on us.
That's right.
Mm.
Yeah, that's on us. You're right. And again, the urgency of this is off the chart right now.
Yep.
There is no hope for the world apart from Jesus. There's no hope. Only God can do what we need. You know, like we say often, you know, the key to problem solving is to find the problem. What's the problem right now? The problem is right here. It's my heart. It's every human heart. And nobody can fix the human heart but God. Politics can't fix the heart. Law can't fix the heart. You know, a COVID vaccine can't fix the heart. Only God can fix the heart. And he loves to, you know? So this is really, really crucial right now.